You are now starting to see teams separate themselves. You see the good teams fighting for a high seed first round bye. You see the average, above average teams fighting for the wild card, fighting for the division. And then you see the really bad teams who are just trying to tank for Tua Tagovailoa. Now the Houston Texans, I believe, could just really be pushing for that high seed first round bye, but it's totally up to them. And it starts this weekend against the Oakland Raiders.
And I remember hot summer, hot winter. I couldn't fight, so the block made a hot spill.
Hello everybody, welcome back to 713 Houston Sportcast. I'm your host, Ruben Calabillo, and the Houston Texans are at home this game against the Oakland Raiders. You look at the Oakland Raiders, the first thing that you think of is Jon Gruden. Guys, I know you don't like him, but Jon Gruden is a very good head coach. Why? Because he knows everything about every team. He dissects the entire roster. Who's going to come in, who's not, who's very good on this down, who's very good on this play. He is going to be well prepared, and it's going to be crucial that Bill O'Brien outcoaches Jon Gruden this game. Why? Because Jon Gruden is, like I said, he's a very good head coach. He's played in 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1. He's coached Hall of Famers. He's coached great quarterbacks. And this is going to be a huge test for Bill O'Brien. Even the Oakland Raiders quarterback, Derek Carr. Derek Carr has had just an average season. He's averaging about 235 yards a game, almost 1.5 touchdowns, and he's giving up almost half a pick a game. He has 4 interceptions on the season, so he's not really blowing away people. He's not, making these crazy throws. But, he's being careful with it. He's being cautious. He's making the right throws. They are 3-3. They beat the Denver Broncos, who are not a good team. They beat the team that beat us last week, the Indianapolis Colts. And they beat the Bears, who I don't think the Bears are good just because of Mitchell Trubisky. But if you look at the scores, 24-16, 24-31, 24-21. So they are averaging just about 25 points a game. And the Houston Texans can't score much more than that. This offense isn't very good. And the one main focal point of this offense is rookie running back Josh Jacobs out of Alabama. Guys, Josh Jacobs is an absolute stud. He's averaging about 92 yards a game. He can run in between the tackles. He could run outside. He could block. He could catch the ball. He is a very good running back. I wanted the Houston Texans to draft him, but hey, he fell later in the first round. The Oakland Raiders just got an absolute steal with Josh Jacobs. The wide receivers, their tight ends aren't really good. Darren Waller is leading the team with about 440-something yards. So, they don't really have that much good at receiving, but you still need to pay attention to this Oakland offense. Secondary is hurt. It is depleted. No Bradley Roby. Phillip Gaines just got lost for the season. Lonnie Johnson, he's a rookie. He's playing good. Jonathan Joseph is banged up. So somebody key for this game is newly acquired corner Garen Conley. Guys, I know you guys have a lot of mixed emotions about Conley, but he's an absolute stud. There is a reason why he was a first round pick. Should have been top 10 pick, but allegations held him back to late in the first round. But he's just a solely man-to-man corner. And that was one thing that the Oakland Raiders, lacked, because they play a bunch of zone and Conley was just not good in the zone. Hey, we have to be honest. There's a reason why they let him go, and that's because he didn't fit their scheme. Their scheme is zone. Tampa 2, cover 3. They want him just in space. Whereas with the Houston Texans, they are the 4th team in man-to-man defense, and that is where Conley thrives. Why? Because at Ohio State, he was man-to-man, and they had Malik Hooker back there just roaming around. Malik Hooker being a safety from the Colts. You have Justin Reed back there. You have Deshaun Gibson back there. Let Conley go man-to-man and do his thing. He had 3 interceptions last year. He was shutting down A.J. Green. He was shutting down Antonio Brown. But when the scheme changed, that's when he started to see him to decline. And one thing that Romeo Crennel loves to do is play man, and that is what he's great at. So I think he's going to have a huge game. Every corner that has been traded so far has had big plays for the new teams. Marcus Peters, who was traded to the Ravens, he had a pick 6. Jalen Ramsey, traded to the Rams, had a huge forced fumble. So these newly acquired corners are making plays for this team, and I have no doubt that Conley won't do the same. He's very long. He's very fast. He almost had the same body type of Lonnie Johnson, but he just played, at a better school at Ohio State. I really want this Houston Texans offense to just go absolutely berserk on this defense. Why? Because the Oakland Raiders defense is not good. Nothing stands out about them. And the Houston Texans last week, their red zone efficiency wasn't good at all. They had about 4 trips down there in the first half and settled for 4 field goals. That is not the way this Houston Texans has been at all this whole season. You've seen they've been going to the tight ends, they've been running the ball down there, and it just all fell apart last week. So I'm expecting a huge bounce back red zone efficiency from this Houston Texans team. I see the Houston Texans winning, just blowing out them like 35 or 42 points to 14. I don't think these Oakland Raiders are gonna just be in this game at all. You know, it's going to rely on Deshaun Watson. It's going to rely on this offensive line. You know, I really want to see this offensive line with Roger Johnson. I miss Tytus Howard so much. Tytus Howard, as a rookie, is one of the best right tackles in the league, and he was worth the pick. You know, I know everybody wanted Andre Dillard, but Tytus Howard is just playing far beyond, you know, our wildest dreams. I want to see this defense have a bounce back game too, because Jacoby Brissett absolutely shredded this secondary. Hopefully with a newly acquired cornerback, you know, and just Roman McCrinnon just switching things around, that the defense can have a bounce back game as well. Overall, like I said, I had the Texans winning 35 or 41 points to 14. But let me know what you guys think. Am I just not really giving too much credit to the Oakland Raiders? Who do you think is going to win? What do you think is going to be the score? And who do you think is going to ball out? Guys, this is a very huge game. You don't want to fall to 4-4. Let's go 5-3. Let's have a great Sunday. You guys have a blessed day.